Well, we will continue with our Dhamma talks. Yesterday I had done with Chittanupassana, at least for the time being, and started going into the Dhammanupassana, contemplation of Dhamma. There's one or two things to mention. Is that development of Satipatthana is best taken progressively. Step by step, from the gross to the fine. So we develop mindfulness of body, feelings, and we go to the consciousness. This in turn also helps to develop the body foundation and feeling foundations while going into the Dhammas. One interesting thing I noticed when I went back to Malaysia to teach after many years in Europe. I noticed that quite a number of them were stuck. They were still going round and round. No, they did not have teachers. There was a constant stream of teachers coming over from Burma, from other places. This I'm talking about the Mahasi tradition. Others I don't know. Not my business. They were progressing, of course, but something was missing. Probably due to communication or what. So during my time there, this 1-2 years, I've been introducing more of Chittanupassana. My way of doing it. The other people are doing it their way. My way of doing it. So after going in, and some of them did give it a good try, and in the retreats, you find immediate and significant breakthroughs and progress. Actually, I myself was quite surprised. First thing is, I don't know whether they understood why I said. But from the reports and so on, it's clear. And they also know clearly themselves that they make significant progress in that one retreat. 2 retreats. The reason is clear because once you're very aware of Chittanupassana, you're more aware of the workings of the consciousness. Not that you don't know, you know, but to see it firsthand so much clearly is something else. Just give a simple example. Simile, no example, simile. You know, my eyes really are not becoming very good. I got glaucoma, I could do the operation, but I can see, and I'm quite happy with that. But sometimes I look around and see some things where I did, but they're right in front of me. Ah, so I have to switch on the light and to use a bigger torchlight, and then I can see it's there. Ah, so it's not that you don't know the consciousness there, but it's not so clear. When it's very clear, then it makes a difference. So after going through this Chittanupassana, which means that they're practicing not just the body and feelings, but they also bring more in regards to sharpening the perception of the consciousness and the mental states. Significant progress can be seen. That means they see the three characteristics as it goes through much more clearly than before. So I would encourage, if possible, try to develop it further. It takes some time, skill, but can be done. And you make a great difference. And especially when you talk about now Dhammanupassana, contemplation of Dhammas, which I talked about yesterday. This Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana are included in Dhammanupassana. Yeah. For example, you see the chapter of the aggregates, clinging, Upadana Khanda. The 5 aggregates of clinging. The body, the feelings, the perception, the mental volition or formations, and consciousness. 3 of them belong to the 3 foundations. Yeah. Body, it is body foundation of mindfulness. Mindfulness of body. Feeling aggregate is actually mindfulness of feelings. Consciousness aggregate is of consciousness. The only 2 things not included previously are perceptions and body formations, volitional actions, volitional formation. And these are mental states. So when you deal with consciousness clearly, you automatically go into watching the mental states clearer because they are associated states, closely connected. And so also with the other chapters of Dhammanupassana, each chapter deals with certain aspect of the Dhammas in the sense that they have similar qualities and functions. Yesterday I said about Dhammanupassana is on Dhammas, on natural phenomena. In the overall view, they are the Paramatha Dhammas and the first level of understanding. The 28 materialities, 32 mental states, 89 consciousness, and 1 Nibbana. And when you perceive them clearly without concepts, I, me, my, time, form, space, ideas, and then you see them as natural phenomena without an I, without an ego. And it's just there as part of nature, whether you like it or not. So when you see this very clearly, when you see the characteristics of earth, water, fire, wind, very clearly without concepts, and you end up in watching it as a natural phenomena. You just know the quality of earth, like hardness, you just know the quality of pain, like a kind of oppressiveness. That's just know that there's such a thing as a knowing mind. It does not bring you to that first insight knowledge, that first level of understanding of anatta. Only when you come to the first knowledge, understand anatta, can you really see them as first level of Paramatha Dhammas, ultimate realities. That's where the actual Dhammanupassana begins. This is my opinion. Excuse me. Now, there are all these type of ultimate realities, as I mentioned, 52 mental states, 28 material qualities, and so on. Now, these material qualities and mental qualities and so on can be grouped accordingly because they have something similar in them. Some qualities they share, and some functions and effects they share in life. That's why the Buddha has actually grouped them in groups for the sake of simplicity and practice. You find this throughout the text. For example, all the chapters have been dedicated to the different groupings. And the Salayatana Vagga chapter on the sense spaces, the Khanda Vagga, and so the Khanda Samyutta, the Salayatana Samyutta, those the group, all the suttas, discourses into the discourses on certain topics. The Khanda, the aggregates, Vedana Samyutta on feelings, Salayatana Samyutta on the sense spaces, and so on. So it makes sense because it's bringing the mind to these ultimate realities. And the unique property, they group that in a way so that you can handle the meditation effectively in certain aspects. Take, for example, the Khanda. Khanda Samhita talks about the Upadana Khanda, the aggregates of the 5 aggregates of clinging. Matter, or we say body, feelings, perceptions, volitional formations, consciousness. Then these are groups. And they talk Upadana Khanda, that means they are groups, aggregates of clinging, where the mind tends to cling to them, identify with them, attach to them very strongly. And so you cannot see reality. And so you're deeply entrenched into the samsara, the wheel of suffering. So he has actually brought this out so that people know that there's clinging to this, and this phenomena is not one thing, one group, one single thing, but many things. When you see them as many things and you break them out, and then you can see them as impermanent, then you can let go of this clinging to the self and go into the penetration of things as they really are. The three universal characteristics. To give a very rough example, the Rupa Kanda, taking it from a more personal view, in the sense of the person. People cling to the body. Yeah. They think the body is I, myself. It's quite natural because you can feel the body. It's real, no? You see this body? It's real. But it's just on the conventional, superficial level, and so the cling can be very strong. And so what happens to the body? They become can be devastated. The moment they say, you got cancer, you're going to die, then you are finished, totally devastated, you know. So what happens? You do meditation, no problem. When you die, boom. You end up is, of course, depends very much on the karma. When you're meditating, the mind is in a good state, the chances to go to a good state. But for somebody who's not, then the clinging is so strong. The Malaysians have a good proverb for it. Malaysian bahasa, kuku besi. Kuku means nail, no? Nails. Besi means iron. She's got iron nails. You know? Why? Because the clinging is so strong, hard as iron, very tough. So similarly, when you talk of feelings, people attach to the feelings. My feelings, you hurt my feelings. You know? The feeling is very sensitive. So you identify with the feeling. Then perceptions more often refer to the memory. Memory is only one part of it, but it's a big part of it. And so people identify themselves with the memory. They identify with them with the sankhara, mental formations. Like there's a philosopher, I think, therefore I exist. You know? Who's the philosopher? Descartes. So, and then the consciousness was very common. They always identify with the consciousness. You know, even people meditate when they go to a very high, lofty consciousness. The consciousness is eternal. I am the consciousness. And so this helps to break up. They cannot see it because they see the body as one whole thing, the feeling is one whole everlasting thing. And so it helps to break up the identification, the wrong ego, non-self. This is the first barrier, first stumbling block. Once you break the barrier of the stumbling block, and then the block breaks, then you start seeing all the mind-body processes. So this is very effective for people who have this strong clinging to the self and egocentrism. Once I met an old lady. She does meditating. So first time she come to Vipassana. She walks, really old lady, not very strong. So finally I asked her, your concentration is strong. Do you know what you really are? Let's talk about. I'm the chi, because Chinese are very, very attached to the chi, energy or something like that. They don't really know what it is. They know the chi is something, and they think the chi, energy is eternal. I go, Master, what is the chi? And she can answer. She attached to something she doesn't know what it is. So that's why even though concentration is strong and so on, no insight cannot, because the attachment to the wrong view is so strong. So similar, you see in the other chapters of the Dhamma, we won't go into all of them. Later, if we have time, we go to one of them more. Like for example, in terms of the Nivaranas, let's go in depth into the defilements. Nivarana are basically defilements. The wall, the barrier, which you cannot go through. You know, cannot go deeper. Why? Because there's a wall there. Hindrances. Sometimes it's so fine that you cannot see it. Hindrances like small and top or restless can be very fine. They're mental phenomena. But they cannot progress because they don't go through that wall. Even if you can do what David Copperfield did, walk through the Great Wall of China, you still cannot go through this world. This mind. Then that's why you have to really start breaking up in the fine observation, all that makes up this hindrance. Then you talk, the next one is the aggregates of clinging, which we have mentioned. Then you have this salayatana, the six sense pieces. Where you, it's basically like consciousness. Like we're talking consciousness going through the six sense doors. You don't go to the six sense doors, you find that the six sense doors are basically one thing. The person is made out of six sense doors. I see, I hear, I smell, I taste, I touch, I know. Only one knows. You boil out, you try and think some more, and you mind. But they cannot see beyond the mind. And so they stay attached to the Salayatana. This is a consciousness that runs through the six sense doors, and the consciousness is impermanent. But they don't see it impermanent. So it's the I. And the other one is more important coming to is the 7 factors of enlightenment. And these are factors that make up enlightenment, make up realization. This is where you really look deeply into the makeup, the paramatthas, the makeup of these factors of enlightenment. This becomes very interesting because here the object is transcendental, and the consciousness and the mental states also become transcendental. And transcendental, then means they go and being transcended by means of insight knowledge, by insight. I see through it. This one is difficult to understand unless you have some insight knowledge, or you explain it in terms of this Paramattha Dhammas, then it becomes clear. Try to, and of course, lastly, the Four Noble Truths. Now, for the moment, we stop on Dhammanupassana. Right? Just give you an introduction. You go into the 3 foundations, eventually you will end up in Dhammanupassana. We will come back to it later when I've gone through another 2 sets of Dhammas, which is, you must know, it's a basic and fundamental. When we talk about experience, then is something else. You need to practice to get the experience. And what is important is the experience. And this is one samadhi, usually translated as concentration. The other one is panya, wisdom, or you use the word in meditation, jnana, insight. And so come to this two. When you come to have a better understanding of this, and then you go into the factors of enlightenment more really. Any questions so far? No questions. That means all of you are clear. Huh? It's quite simple. Direct. Now we come to the topic of samadhi. You know the three sikha, three training. Sila, samadhi, panya. Sila, morality, concentration, and wisdom. Like the Buddha described, when morality is made use of, well, when the morality is developed fully, then it is very beneficial to development of concentration. When development of concentration is developed fully, is becoming very useful for the development of insight, stepwise, one by one. Because one depends on the other. There are many ways of understanding sila. Go to the very basic. You won't go through all the types of morality, blah, 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 blah. Don't have time for that. Then once someone asked, when we talk of the purification, in meditation, we talk of 7 purification, satta visuddhi. One purification leads to the other purification. The first purification is the purification of virtue, sila visuddhi. Second would be the citta visuddhi, means the purification of the consciousness. Then after the rest are insight, starting with purification of view, ditti visuddhi. So the one question asked, when is the purification of virtue complete? I read it in one of these Dhamma books by these meditation masters. Can't remember which one. I think one by Asabachara, Asaba, Wasabha, Sabachara, Wasabha. Burmese monk. This, when the restraint of senses is complete, then the purification by virtue is complete. You can talk of 5 precepts of morality, and you can talk of 8 precepts of morality, and so on. Basically, morality is abstinence from evil. That means you prevent the mind from unwholesome deeds, craving, anger, delusion. So, how many rules can you watch? Without big rules, the monk observe countless. Not only 200 and something, but also countless rules. Not mentioned in those recited. Now, to be complete, it means all unwholesome deeds by body and speech should be restrained. And this is done by Indriya Samvara. Indriya means faculties, the sense basis, 6 sense basis. So that means there's mindfulness there to guard it from any arising of craving, anger, delusion. When you see something, if you find that the craving want to come, stop it, no? Before it actually come out. Usually comes out after something, say, oh yes. A little bit late is too late. So, but you can, because you watch properly, there's a tendency when there's a feeling coming, even your mind feels something wrong somewhere. You catch it, you catch the condition. So you have to restrain that before it arises, and you prevent it. Of course, when that if it's too strong, the moment it arises, immediately you break it, and you can prevent it. It's pulling you back. Restraint is like pulling you back, virakti, abstinence. And so when it is complete and fully restrained in the senses, purification of morals is fulfilled. Then the next is the Chitta Visuddhi, the purification of mind, consciousness. When is the purification of morals complete, of consciousness complete? When it reaches samadhi. At least, upachara samadhi. Upachara samadhi, that means the concentration level for strength is strong enough to prevent and overcome and inhibit the 5 hindrances. And that means 5 hindrances is basically the defilements of craving, anger, delusion, spoken in a way of obstruction against right concentration. So you talk about 5 hindrances, exploring doctrine, and these are the things you can see very well in your meditation. You cannot concentrate. When your concentration is increasing, but still these hindrances can still pop up. We meditate, I'm very clear, no, but not clear enough. So this restless thoughts coming up. They're very subtle. Careful to carry on. There's an interesting point here. When an object arises in your mind, it doesn't mean that you're not mindful. It doesn't mean you're not mindful. It doesn't mean you're thinking. You're not thinking. In the sense of the words, I think of this, I think of that. But the extra, some other like mind objects does arise. When somebody was meditating, suddenly appeared before him a pot. I said, what is inside that pot? There's something inside. He's quite mindful and watching, but because the concentration on this rising falling is not so strong enough to keep out objects, external objects come into the consciousness. It's a mind objects. They do not have to have any meaning. But of course, there's some cause behind it that you don't know. So at the time, you can be still mindful, but they are not disturbed. You meditating, rising, falling, but slowly a face comes in front of you. If you're not mindful enough, you might get distracted. You lose your mindfulness, and it goes off. And then the hindrances has taken over. So you're really mindful, even the object comes in, you won't disturb, you know it's object, and it goes off. Yeah. This is an interesting point, because some people say, I'm thinking, but they're not thinking. It's the mental object arises because concentration on your primary object or vipassana object is not strong. This can also be a vipassana object. It's a mind object, can be a vipassana object. So you're talking about concentration. So when the mindfulness is strong and sharp enough, put aside all the hindrances. Yes, then you can say mindfulness is purification of mind is good. No, not the best, it's complete. Complete is, of course, very strong concentration. That means when you're very strong concentration, it's the real upachara, that means upachara which is near the jhana. Upachara means excess. Upa, near. Chara, coming near, approaching. Just next to it, at the doorstep, the jhana absorption. So it's quite powerful. And then all the thinking will come. The mind can be blank of thinking for a long time. So at the time, the mind is very clear. Even you want to think, you cannot think. You want to sleep, also you cannot sleep. I cannot sleep, my mind is so bright. So how? Meditate. Meditate till you drop. Till you fall asleep. So now we talk more about samadhi. Now, samadhi usually we take as, in definition, as concentration. What do you mean by concentration? It means you concentrate on the object, it means your mind hold on to the object and don't let go. That's what you say, because just think of object and don't let go. Just watch the breath, follow the breath. Even you die, watch the breath. Good concentration. Very interesting story. I won't tell you. It takes too much time. Want to listen, right? Yeah. It's a Chinese story. It's about the warring states. No, China last time one city fight against another city. One city is a country, like one country. So they have their own king, their own fighting. Just fighting. So there's one of these states. They have this special skill. The skill is in calligraphy. In calligraphy, they write until very concentrated. Calligraphy need concentration. And so what happens was the enemy was attacking the city. And the students were very frightened because they're shooting all thousands of arrows. So the master says, I tell you what calligraphy is. So he came right to the hall. He sat there and started doing calligraphy. Arrows were coming and going, shooting into the hall. And then, of course, all the students saw their master like that. They also all went there and sit there and started writing. And the arrows kept shooting. Of course, quite many of them died. Well, kill them. It means there's such strong dedication and concentration. It shows the power of concentration. That even death will not stop you. This is called a volition, strong volition. But when we are doing meditation, we're not talking about that. We're not just talking about concentration. We're talking about right concentration. We don't want to develop wrong concentration. Wrong concentration, you better go and sleep. Wrong concentration, that means you concentrate without mindfulness, without wisdom. So that if you don't do that, then you open yourself to dangers. Number one. Second, wrong concentration is an very strong, unwholesome state of mind, which is worse than no concentration. And this happens often with people who do concentration meditation. Let's say if a person really wants to concentrate on object, whether in breath or in visualizations or in chanting or anything like that. Just do the name and then the more mindfulness comes robotic, mechanical. The mind is blank, the mind is not clear. So it just goes through habit, or even anapana, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. The mind is not clear. It just go like a rhythm. It's not clear. As if to stop, it cannot stop because it just go on and on. If, for example, one person supposed to be doing local meditation, she says, I want the whole meditation hall. What? Like, because when I go into concentration, I need the whole hall because she cannot stop. Just let her mind walk, and she just concentrates on her walk and the movement, and she just she goes very fast. There's no mindfulness. Ask her to stop, she cannot stop. Of course, which means the next step is you're going mad. So this is one way of wrong concentration. Other parts of wrong concentration, I'm not going to say anymore. I get frightened. But since we're emphasizing all of mindfulness, vipassana is safe. So there's no danger. The danger is because your mind already got something wrong inside. No. How can you watch rising, falling, walking, and then you go mad? You won't go mad. You're walking and breathing all the time anyway. It's because there's already something wrong in the mind. And so generally, no. When you do concentration very hard without mindfulness, and then it happens. So, when the definition of concentration, I read a book, gives a very good definition. which, when you talk right concentration, a better word to use is tranquility. Now it defines samadhi in three ways. For example, one is tranquility from defilements. Because when you meditate and you practice, you want to be free from suffering. When you want to meditate and you get more suffering, it's senseless, isn't it? You want to meditate to suffer or meditate to have peace? Of course, to have peace. Then why do you want to watch pain? Watch pain, you suffer. You watch pain not to suffer. You watch pain because you cannot avoid pain in life, and you learn to be at peace with pain. But before you get to peace with pain, you must learn to be mindful. So the idea is that peace is especially in the mind. And the real peace of mind is to be free from defilements. This is the first thing to note. That's why we say the important first, when you do meditation, mindfulness or concentration or whatever, mindfulness, purity of mindfulness, freedom from defilements. Number one. So when you're free from craving and delusion, even you don't get so concentrated, you're at peace. Yeah. But you're very concentrated and you say, I want my joy, I want my concentration. And you then it's not wrong that the person outside in the restaurant eating cakes and coffee is happier than you. Coffee and cooking is a German trait, favorite pastime. Chinese is what? Yum cha. Instead of coffee, they have tea. You eat anything with tea. Sometimes you have small snacks, they give you. But I think the yum cha, the main thing is checking. The cha is only the excuse. That's why they have a Chinese proverb that says, saliva is more than tea. Also, talk about cha. You talk so much, all the saliva come out more than the tea. No, come back to our concentration. So the second, after that has been satisfied, the mindfulness there is strong, the mind is pure, then the concentration, one pointedness. The concentration we talk about in meditation is usually refers to that one pointedness. In Pali is ekagata, gone to one point. So this is a metaphysical term for a mental factor, the state of mind. It's like a kind of fixation. Like the mind is fixed to one object, fixed to one point. So it does not move. It does not waver. If it's 2 points, that means you move from one house to another, come back. You know, like the cricket, you play cricket, you must quickly run from one point. Fast. How many runs do you have? And here you stay there. What happens? You stay in at one point. It becomes more and more stuck. It deepens, fixed on the object. Just like you have a stone. You put the stone on there is not so fixed. After a long time, the stone finds itself in the ground. No? Because the earth slowly covers it up, and then you want to move the stone, you cannot move the stone. But here, of course, we know the stone is not moving. But in the mind is moving. The mind is a process. So if you keep the mind on the same point, the mind will keep going to the same point. And this builds up a force. And the force entrenches the consciousness deeper and deeper to that one point. So the one pointedness becomes one very strong. So it's a fixation. That's what it means, one pointedness. Generally, we say concentration, simple word. So the stronger your concentration, the stronger the mind is fixed to that object. Yeah. It's just like take a nail and hammer it into the wood, it's fixed there, it doesn't move. So it's very strong. But there are, of course, different levels of fixedness. Usually when you talk to somebody, it refers to this property. Now what happens after that? Why do you want to do that? Don't you have something better to do? Which is better to just eat one type of cake or eat many types of cakes? Which one? Many types. Why? Because it's more interesting. Huh? Because variety is a spice of life. Yeah? Because when you love things, it clears the mind. It creates joy. But that's why. So we have this one-pointedness. What happens is that one-pointedness is there, strong, it becomes very powerful. So in this terms, we say it becomes unshakable. That means when you really concentrate on it, nothing can tear you out of the object. So, like some people, they are so concentrated on the video games. Like your little brother or little sister playing that video game. I don't know what video games they play nowadays. Once I had a student, young student, always with his telephone. What are you playing? I look at it. Angry Birds. It seems now Angry Birds is out of date. Right? Do you still play Angry Birds? No. The earliest one I remember is they play what's called the bricks. That the bricks start falling and you're supposed to fit each brick into one part and a form wall. No? I know a friend of wife, she always plays that to get rid of boredom. And she's quite good. After that, she wins a lot of prize. Oh, she's cooking. There's nothing so much with the world, but there. So those type of concentration comes with craving, unfortunately. Also comes with a bit of ego. This one fellow was very good in playing this video game, very concentrated. It's very complicated video games, no? Fighting with this monster, fighting with this blah 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 blah. So many obstacles. So finally he won the whole game, you know. He won the whole game. You know what happened at the end of the game? The queen of this kingdom will come and thank you, my friend, for overcoming. The king of another kingdom will come and thank you. Very good, my friend, you are our hero. Another queen and the king of I don't know what kingdom will come and thank you. This is terrible. This is for making strong your ego. But that's how they make money in UK, I suppose. Now coming back to our topic, sorry, so it comes with strong power because it comes with wholesomeness. The wholesome mind has very strong power. And so with the wholesome power, you can push away effectively all the akusala and wholesome states. No, you push it away. If it's a little bit and the anger is stronger, you cannot push away. Anger, because it's so powerful that it will sweep you, whatever mindfulness you have away. Then you become totally distracted. So you have to build up very strong. You want your concentration to last long and to be able to watch and practice properly. There's a second factor there. No, when the concentration is strong, it tends to make the mind more sensitive and able to magnify the objects larger. Take, for example, your mind is concentrated, it's more subtle, so a small object will become very strong, very light. That's why when a person is in concentration, a small sound, even a pin drops, you can hear. When a very subtle sensation appears, you can feel. Normally, they cannot feel. So that's why, because of the concentration, but the concentration must have enough mindfulness to accompany it. Otherwise, it becomes oversensitivity. Then it can be very distracting. This happens more with people who are doing samadhi, samatha. Because before you enter samatha, the mind is very sensitive. Any small thing can bring out. But when you're deep inside, it's different. Then you cannot hear anything. But in vipassana, this is important because you're not only watching a subtle object, you're also watching all these subtle objects changing, arising and passing away very fast. Because of that, you have to have strong concentration, but very sharp concentration. And because of that, what I was in the back of my mind. And because of that, you need to develop vipassana concentration. The concentration broadly categorized into two types: vipassana samadhi and samatha samadhi. Samatha samadhi refers to the concentration you depth in pure tranquility meditation. Vipassana concentration is that which is developed in the vipassana samadhi, vipassana meditation, inside. And the difference is the object. The other thing is the state of mind, the tension, how you place it. That depends on the object as well. And what you look for. And so there's Vipassana Samadhi and Samatha Samadhi. Already giving the idea of what Samatha is. No, yesterday I think the Mahagata Chitta. Because the Samatha object is not changing, it's a concept, like a person, like a circle, uh, like a part of a body, and things like that. It is your concentration develops, the object doesn't change anymore. At first it seems to change, but later the object doesn't change. Even the anapana as a samatha, at first it changes, but later it doesn't change. It becomes what they call a nimitta, like a bright light or something like that, which doesn't move. And then the deep absorption takes place. Now, when you talk of vipassana, some object is different. The object is a paramatta dhamma. It has to be, all the concepts has to be removed. Then you come to the real ultimate reality, paramatta. But no, the paramatta cannot just go directly to it and stay there for a long time. Because the mind is so used to concepts. So used. Some period of time is there, but not for a long time and for what? And to go deep into it, normally cannot. For most religious, special person, exception. But normally cannot. So you have to go step by step through the Paramatta Dhamma. For example, walking, at first you walk, you must use the variable left, right, left. The words are concept, but you need them, otherwise your mind will completely go wild. Then after that, you can walk slowly and you will be able to do away with the word. Still, you have the idea of the form. There's this right leg, there's this left leg, and there's this toes, and there's this heels, there's this bones, there's this ankles, there's this knees. Somehow there's there, still there. Those are still concepts. Some people concentrate on the concepts. This is wrong. Like some people, when they concentrate, they concentrate on the toes. No, you don't concentrate on the toes. You don't concentrate on the leg either. Concentrate on the process of the walking. And the process of the walking is felt as sensations. When you walk closely and watch at the sensations, you arrive at the processes which are made up of the elements, earth, wind, water, fire, and you watch that. That brings you to the actual vipassana object. But it's a stepwise thing. It's all together one. No? At the beginning, you have maybe 80% of time in the concept, 20 in the realities. So after that, as you keep directing your mind to the sensations, then you have 50-50. Then when you go closer and closer, then you have 80, 10 concept, 80 reality, and so on. When you go to that point, then of course, even when you watch the sensations, you don't feel your leg. There are no toes, you don't feel it. Of course, the toes are there. The leg is there, otherwise you cannot walk. But at the moment of experience, you don't experience the leg at all. Even you don't know who you are. But you are not there. The I concept is not there. And so on. So it's slowly getting closer and closer. When you're actually with the paramatta, ultimately just the wind, the tension, you see, there you see coming and going. But you see it very clearly, the moment you see it clearly, the moment it disappears. And this, when you're going, leading to Paramatta Dhamma. But before you reach to there, a noticeable thing is the object is changing. The change is not, it's what we call conceptual change, conventional change, and not the actual Paramatma. So when you watch that, but generally you can see the shadow of it, and the shadow of it is like the change. Right? That's why we say for Vipassana, you watch the object, it doesn't change, it's always there, stationary. It's not a good object. You cannot see the impermanence. It cannot bring you to see the impermanence. Similarly, when you watch a rising falling, the word is there, but you need the word at the beginning. Sometimes we have people who are not beginners, they need the word. Because the word is too much problems. So keep it there. Later, you're supposed to follow it from the beginning to the end. When you follow it to the beginning and end, it means you follow it as a process. Then you see it as something moving like a flow. No. And so when you go into more and more precise movement, it's just the main element being the tension, the wind element. And so you go to the Paramattha Dhamma. Again, the moment you see it, it disappears. So that's why the Vipassana concentration and Samatha concentration are two different concentrations. What we try to do in this Satipatthana Vipassana is Vipassana concentration. There are two different objects and two different ways of looking at it, and two different experiences. They're not the same. One is a transcendence, the other one is a fixation, a sublimation. They're more than that. So we have to stop here tonight. Otherwise, we cannot follow. We continue with the topic of concentration tomorrow evening, and hopefully we have time to go into the topic of insight. Yes, any questions? Yes.
Yeah, Bhante, is memory a consciousness? Memory. If you see the past life or something like that, is it consciousness?
Memory is a very broad thing. When you talk memory, many things are involved. Consciousness is definitely involved. Because if there's no consciousness, then there's no memory. But memory is more specific. Because even a person who does not have memory have consciousness. Okay? So memory has to do with the mental factor of perception, sanya. Sanya is that which takes note of certain signs of the object and therefore, through conditioning, link it to something else. It may be the past. So when you're able to link something to the past, call it memory.
Okay, but memory passes from one life to another life.
Can you remember your past life? So you don't have memory of your past life, so sad. But it's not so sad. You can still practice Vipassana very well. What you need more is Vipassana concentration, Vipassana perception, to see and to recognize the three universal characteristics, and then finally Nibbana. There are arahants that cannot remember past life. Which is better? To be an arahant that doesn't remember past lives, or to be a ordinary person who remember lots of nonsense. Which one? Well, arahant without Memory is better than the other one. Of course, you remember, Arhan remember past life better, no? When we deny it. But first, get rid of your defilements. Yes. Okay, we stop here tonight. Come back at after 15 to 20 minutes for metta.
Anh Trinh, lên ta có gì